We're back, folks, and we're live. 3/4, 2023. We're back on the scene. We're going to talk about some things with the demographics of firearms and give a couple of shout outs to what's going on here in our lovely state of Georgia. Talk to you and get back. So before we do that, we want to thank everybody for coming on and to let you know we are live on YouTube. We are live on Rumble. We are live on what's that? Twitch. And Twitch has a very how you want to say that interesting set of folks on there.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and YouTube has a great set of people to come on there. But one thing I need you guys on YouTube to do, you watch the show, I need you to like it. I need you to subscribe because YouTube has really been shadow banning our stuff and taking us down. I want to thank everybody on Rumble for liking the live show and also giving us the Rumble hits. Please continue to do that. We continue to try to give you more of the show and improve the show. So just support us and we will support you guys with content.
Absolutely.
And before we go any further, we want to thank who's sponsoring this show, and that's Saber Team Tactical. Saber Team Tactical is a tactical firearms training facility. Just type in saberteamtactical.com. I'll talk about the front page here real quick while I'm here. Click on any of these little buttons down here. This takes you to the Facebook page. It takes you to our Tumblr page. It takes you to the Laser Engraving Instagram page. I'm possibly going to take and send it to the tactical. I'll put another one up to send it to the Saber Team Tactical Instagram page. But you can either or you can just type in Saber Team Tactical on Instagram, you'll find us. This takes us to our YouTube page, and this Reddit icon will take you to the Rumble, our page on Rumble, and you can see all the videos in order or out of order, and look at all those beautiful likes and subscribes we have over there. And in the meantime, if that doesn't bore you, go to the next step, and it's going to have classes here. And go ahead, Al.
Yeah, and our classes right now, we're still in the format. We're doing mostly privates, and that basically gives everybody an individual training that they need. We get you up to speed, and I mean, it's really proven to be better for us and better for our clients as well. Because now when you come in, we're giving you one-on-one attention, and I've seen great and drastic improvements from people coming in. We're still going to offer the other classes. We're going to do it in a group setting. So if you have a group of people and you want to do concealed carry and medical class, we can do that. But we'll still have a firm date. As you can see, we have one already. But if, like basic firearms training, you got 5 people you want to work out with, we'll come out and we'll provide all the training for you. We still have all of the handouts and things that we do at our classes, and we will always leave you with a dry fire routine so that you can improve in the meantime.
Now, we like you said on the classes, the private classes is a way to go. You can bring in a lot of you can bring your office, your church. You can bring if you have family members. You guys having a family reunion this year, and you guys want to do something at the range because everybody want to get familiar with firearms. This is ideal. Contact us. We'll give you a group rate.
That walks right into our topic for the day, because I'd also, we'll facilitate your range day. So if you want to go out and just, may not have a full formal training, but you want somebody that knows what they're doing. A lot of people tell me that they have family members who are military. And I said, okay, well, when did they get out? And they were like, oh, he got out in 86. Well, there's a lot has changed since 1986.
Or they got out in 1918 when World War I stopped.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people. Yeah, they veterans. Hate to say it, if you didn't carry a pistol, you wasn't special operations. You guys do know rifles, but you guys don't, or shotguns, but you're not highly proficient with the handgun. And the only thing we have to do is hand it to you, and we can show you that your safety skills are out of sync with what's going on today. And um, um, we got some classes coming up August 12th. Concealed carry medical class is coming up. I'm starting to promote this class. It's you carry concealed carry and or constitutional carry in the state of Georgia. And it'll teach you how to engage your targets, how to triage medical and reholster and do all kinds of good stuff out there on the range. Let's go to July. We got July coming up, rifle and PCC class. That's 9mm carbines, 5.56, 7.62s, AKs. You want to bring out 22s. That's what this class is for, to learn you guys how to manipulate, run those guns. You're going to run those rifles just like you running a pistol. So if you want to learn how to run a rifle like a pistol, this is an ideal class for you. October, when it starts to cool down, we got a rifle medical class. It's almost the same as a concealed carry class, but this time you're going to be doing this and triaging with your gear, just in case if the world goes to, boom, yeah, something hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this class is for. And the last but not least, November 18th, we got the rifle tactical gear class. That's a class that was actually I taught in the Army on a reconnaissance team with 6 people. This class is limited to 6 people. This is not an intermediate class, but it's an intermediate to advanced class. So you got to have your skills on board when you come out here, because you're going to learn something you've never seen in your entire life.
Come see me. I'll get you up to speed for that class.
Yes. Come see Al. Al will get you up to speed so you come out there and won't look bad on the class and
poop the bed. You won't poop the bed. See, I could talk like that.
Yeah, you can do that, man. Yeah. I have to think of my words very carefully, you know what I'm saying? Oh man. Now, those are the classes going on. Don't be shy. Ask some questions if you are interested, and we can hook you guys up.
Something, I did a video the other day with Rick came out before you go to the next thing. One of the things, he got me talking, and Rick's a real good guy. So he got me talking, and one of the things I remember, the young man that I'm working with now, he asked about, people coming out, and he said, a lot of his friends are a little nervous about coming out because they don't have the skills. And I said, that's the reason why you want to come out. That's the reason why you want to take especially individual training. So that was something that kind of made me think about it. And one of the things that, we don't promote it enough, and I want to start doing it, is that we have a soft approach. Right. We don't yell at people. If you don't mess up, because we will get on your ass if you're unsafe. That's totally different. But just off the start, we're not treating anybody in a demeaning way, because we're pretty much solid in ourselves. Everybody has flaws, but for the most part, I don't do this to show you that I'm better than you. No. So people laugh all the time, because when we come out and I put 2 rounds on top of the other while I'm still talking, and they go, "Did you see what you just did?" I do it all the time. It's not, I'm not being funny. I can do it at will, and that's the thing. It's like we've practiced and we have such passion about firearms that this is what we do. This is our lifestyle.
We're not out there to embarrass anybody. We're not out there to ego check people. We're not out there to I have taught kids 12 years old. And so you can't do that with children. And so Al has taught children and women, and I've taught women. And so it's a totally different approach. Yes, Al's a training officer in the as a police officer. I was in the military and I did a lot of training. We don't take our outside skills and bring them in to try to belittle and yell at people. We try to give you guys the knowledge that we have on a non-threatening basis, because of the last thing we want to do is to get you nervous and upset on the range with live
exactly. And we're not going to demean you and talk down to you because we know something that you don't know. We're trying to impart that knowledge onto you. We're trying to give you the foundation and the understanding of marksmanship that we have.
So it's you can always come out, and if you don't feel comfortable, let us know. We'll figure out what we're going to do from there. You know what I'm saying? But
we've never had that. We've never. And, I mean, there's certain classes that we perform that we have to have
I need
a
your attention.
command. We have
I
to. We
need
have
your
to.
attention
Right.
100%. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Right.
and there's no fluff in that. But I'm talking about these
And
private individual one-on-one where we're bringing it
it's
to you as easy as possible, especially something new.
right.
Most people, even your people who out here in the street, we don't have a gauge, but those people who believe that they're intermediate shooters are basic shooters. I've seen
Yeah.
them. People
And
who've
we
told me, "Oh, I'm intermediate," and then I said, well, "Can you, what's your splits on your on a
and we
5 round string?" And they go,
yeah.
"You splits? You don't know that? You don't know what
Well,
the splits are?
they
It's
probably
okay.
don't know what splits are. You're talking
Right?
about
They
it
don't know
now.
that." And then the next one is, how fast is how fast is your fastest reload?
Right.
Everything going straight and correct, and they
And
don't know.
we will test you. If you say you're an intermediate shooter, we will test you and
Yep.
see where your level's at. And if we have to start from the basic and come all the way back up, we will to get you back up to where you are. So
Yep.
don't worry about it. If you
Yeah,
pay for it,
exactly. Yep. But
you pay
I've
for
had
it.
people who told me that they were intermediate to advanced. I did the assessment and I realized that this guy is nowhere near intermediate at all.
Right.
And then what I did was I broke it down and I did not tell him, but I
Hmm.
basically gave him the basic class and he was excited at the end of the day. And
Right.
then I told him,
Right.
I said, we got to work on the next time coming in with intermediate stuff. What you believe to be intermediate and what the industry says is intermediate is two
It's
different
not.
things.
Right.
It's two different things. Because you can put 5 rounds into a circle at 3 feet
Right.
doesn't mean that you're intermediate.
You can't manifest yourself into that.
Right. Exactly.
So with that, before I said the wrong thing, and so let's go back to the laser engraving.
Hmm.
The laser engraving site's up. You can click on. This is just some ideals that I have that I'm making. I don't show everything. I don't sell everything here. I do a lot of craft shows. So if you got any questions, put your name, put your email, put your phone number, put your subject. Send me a brief message, and we'll start the conversation on what you actually want. My personal best is portraits. That's what I do personally best. And with that, it's some new things we're actually working on. One of them is we have developed a new watch. I can't find it now. Watch.
Of course.
There it is. We have came up with a new Two Alphas Talk patch. This is a leather patch with Velcro backing.
Hmm.
And so this is something that we're going to start pushing out there. And maybe down the line in a couple of weeks, we're going to maybe talk about some giveaways and stuff.
Yep.
So this is going to be the first stage of the giveaways with the Two Alpha Talks patch. And I just came up with this design a couple of nights ago. So came out pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with it. Yeah. So
Looks nice.
yeah, it came out real good. So with that, let's get into the show. Go Al. No, he's there in the headline.
All right. So one of the things that we watch social media, we read the post and things like that. Pay attention. And one of the things that came across that really struck me was gun ownership and what they quote unquote minority gun ownership. And it's like, okay, is that a small amount of people, or they're talking about individual groups? And of course, they're talking about African Americans and traditionally not being gun owners. And between it's April of 2019 and somewhere in 2021, I think it was April again. They did a research on about people buying guns, and the majority of the people during that time were African American black folks that bought the guns or bought a lot of guns, and the leading group of that were women, and it's like, wow. So we've had discussions with this, and other people that we know, we've had some kind of sometimes a little fervor in the conversations in reference to it, and it all comes down to, at what point do we continue to vote the same way that we maybe traditionally been voting? Because not me, but others, and not speaking for you neither, but other people have always voted in a certain blue manner. Do you continue doing that when those people are willing to take your guns? And then from that, training. because the stories that I'm reading, most people just go into an indoor range, and and those guys will help you out as much as they can, but they can only go but so far. Some places don't allow you to draw from a holster. Some places don't allow you to shoot one round per 1 second or something like that. I haven't been in one of those in a long time, but those are the things that you have to deal with. So how do you get your skills up, being somebody that is in a limited role where you can't go to, say, an outdoor range and kind of, let loose?
Um, yeah, but I know what you're saying. I want to back up a little bit.
I'm
Talk
just getting it
about
started.
yeah, you're getting it started. Yeah, a lot of people. What he's basically talking about is a lot of people. I just shared the Rumble link in the chat for you guys. So if you guys want to join us on Rumble, please do. That's where it's happening at. One of the things we have seen, and we've seen it on the range, we've seen it in the training, where the demographics has been black females buying the first time guns, especially it's a lot of single moms out here with children and they're buying guns. What scared them? What they're finding out, what boosted a lot of this was let me go back to my statistics so I can get myself together here. Some of the things that boosted this was some of the events that happened in the United States, and one of them was the disease we had that lasted for over 2 years. That made a lot of people run out and go out and buy firearms. And between when it started, between March and yeah, it started in March. So you're looking at over 1.5 million people went out and bought firearms, and once the sickness was declared, then in May we had another significant event in 2020. Now I'm talking; these are all events that happened in 2020. We had another significant event, which was George Floyd's death, and at that time, over another 1.5 million people went out and bought firearms, and it kind of went higher in June, over 2 million, and then it dropped back down below 2 million in July. Then in August, it picked back up. Then in September, it leveled off. October, it went back up again. I guess people were buying them for Christmas or whatever. And Thanksgiving, it leveled out because everybody's dealing with the families and stuff. And Christmas, a few people got them for Christmas with December, and it dropped down, but it stayed in that 1.5 to 2 million, about 2 million firearm block. And what happened in January 6, 2021, the Capitol, the January 6th, what they called the insurrection, which really was an insurrection. That catapulted people buying firearms over 3 million. And that was another significant event. January 20th, 21 was the president inauguration. It leveled off with January 6th to the president inauguration. January, that was peak. That's when firearms was at its peak of new gun owners. And so you're like looking at it and it's like, wow. So what do they know that we don't know? You know what I'm saying? And now we're seeing that this thing, we broke it down to the age. We got two different charts. One chart is saying it's all the white males in the South. And we got some other charts that's saying it's the minorities and females in the alphabet soup group. And so we're like, okay, what is what? But we do know that the highest demographics is coming from the NSSF is actually saying that black women are the highest buying guns right now. You know what I'm saying? Then they need to protect themselves. I don't know what for. You know what I'm saying? But it's good that they're doing it. But the only problem, everybody knows.
Well, you do know it's for if you live in the city. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I know you'll forget it.
Yeah. But the only problem is, will these black women or minorities, and like Al just said, will they continue to vote for people who are going to take their firearms away? Or will they think twice and decide they're going to change their votes and try to preserve the Second Amendment in the United States? You know what I'm saying? And they're
Well, I
right.
got two things for you with that.
Okay.
The one living in most of these democratic cities is a lot of crime. That's a fact.
Oh yeah.
We can go
Yeah,
look
yeah,
that
yeah,
up
yeah, yeah.
in less than
Oh yeah.
a
I'm not
nanosecond
arguing.
on
I
Google,
am not
right?
arguing. Yeah.
So if they live there, and most people live amongst themselves, and most people live. If you're a black person, you live around other black people. If you're a Jewish person, you live around other Jewish people. Blah blah blah, blah all the way down the line.
Hmm.
I understand that part. So if you live in a high crime area because you want to stay in a democratic area, you're gonna need a gun.
Hmm.
Right, that's the one part. I'm looking at this stat, and this is another one that came from that firearm. What was this thing called? The Annals of Internal Medicine and their firearm purchasing during the COVID pandemic results from the 2021 National Firearm Survey. And in that, it says that in a weighted percentage, 73.2% of white, non-Hispanic own guns. 9.8% of blacks, weighted percentage, 9.8%. Then you have Hispanic, non-Hispanic other, and that's 5, and then Hispanic themselves 12. So that number is jarring because you're talking about 73, 9, and then 12 of a total percentage of people, right? So
Hmm.
that means that there are people who are like-minded, right? And that's what leads me into this one. I read this, and this is NSSF too, and it was really cool the way they ended this. Let me see if I can make sure I find it. Oh, what did I do with that, man? I just said Al's going to get a trip out of this. All right. He says, for all the talk today about Americans being divided, one thing seems clear. Americans from all backgrounds and all demographics agree that gun ownership is a common right that transcends politics and demographics. So, if you have heads of households, whether they're female or male, and they're going out to buy guns in order to defend their families, that's no different than the next guy. The next guy wants the same thing.
They're all doing it.
People in the
Yeah.
South, and people in rural areas buy guns not only because they need them for wild animals that make them, or in days going by to feed themselves and feed their families. And a lot of families still, go out hunt deer season and all that right
But
now.
that's not.
But the other thing is, when they call the police, they know it's a 10-minute wait, and that could be for something that's an emergency because you live way the hell out there, and the police station is way the hell over there. So
I
they got
know,
to
but
defend themselves.
I understand what you're saying. But look at what's happened in the past. We have had gun control measures placed in these poor inner cities. And what do the police do? Have a buyback program. And who's turning in those guns? Those minority black people are turning in
Dude, the
those guns.
police are the government of the United States.
Yeah, but so
The
what?
government, if you're in one of those towns that's a democratic town,
All right, that's
and
the
the
local
police hold a
government. I
buy
understand.
gap,
I
that's
know
their
that's
local government at
that's the
work.
local government. I understand
Right.
that, but that has nothing to do with people turning in their guns because they having a local buyback. If
You
these
just
people
you hear what you're saying?
what?
You're saying that people are turning in their guns for a buyback to the government, right?
Yeah,
In a
the government's buying
democratic
them back.
city. In a democratic city.
Yeah,
What do you expect them to do? What
I
do you
know, but
expect?
I
They
know,
don't
but
believe in gun rights.
these same people are going out and buying these guns according to the numbers. You know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
same people who are turning them in are going out and buying firearms.
All
You
right,
know?
I'll give you another one. Laura Smith, spokeswoman for the national group Liberal Gun Club, spoke at SHOT Show 2023 and said, unicorns do exist and liberals can be gun owners too. And I'm going to tell you
Yes.
another one. There's a group on Facebook in New York. There's a bunch of liberals in New York City who are gun owners, and they got bank and they are owners of businesses because in New York you have to prove that you have a need for a gun, whether you're
Right.
carrying large sums of money, you're a
So,
jeweler,
so,
whatever it is.
so the unicorns. So let me get this straight.
Go ahead.
So the unicorns some reason or other. She was speaking at the SHOT Show.
Hmm.
She was actually not against firearms at all.
Right, and
She was pro
she's the
firearm,
national spokesman
right,
for a spokeswoman
for the
for the
Unicorn
national
Company,
group Liberal Gun Club,
the
and
Unicorn Group.
she said she called herself a unicorn.
Right.
Unicorns do exist, and liberals can be gun owners too.
Yes,
I'm telling you, I've seen it.
we
I've
have
seen
had
people.
unicorns on the range, and when
Hmm.
you got down and talked to those unicorns said, "I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to continue to support these guys. I'm not hearing what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That does not exist." You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And
and
so,
and they're going off of history, and their history is flawed because it's not historical facts. It's historical pleasantries that they want to believe because it's not fact. It's been a fact that this country has tried to take the rights from Americans away numerous times,
right.
and I'm talking about the Second Amendment
Yeah. What started, when was the Black Panthers? What was it? 60? Was
in the
that?
60s. I think that
Was
was
it 60s?
68, 65, somewhere in between.
Yeah,
Yeah, 60s.
when they stormed the Capitol, that's when it really started.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's been going ever since. It got more powerful when Ronald Reagan got shot. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then when the current president and Clinton got together, and they came up with the '94 ban.
Mm-hmm. Right, which got pretty close to passing.
Oh, they passed it. It was 10 years, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Remember?
yeah, yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah. The
passed it.
10 years. The 10 years.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're talking about
but
the
they
yeah,
had a hole in it. They had a hole in
right,
the bottom because that's the only
yeah.
way that he can get it across for certain members, and they
Right.
did that on purpose.
It's sunsetted. And
Yeah.
but then I remember the day it came out, I went to the gun stores and I said, "What about the ban?" And everybody was like, "Don't worry, man. We're good."
Hmm.
What do you need? You know what I'm
Never
saying?
unprecedented.
Yeah.
It's
What do you need?
unprecedented until it happens.
Right. And nothing changed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And they've done studies on that shows that having a ban on that particular rifle did nothing to stop any violence.
Right.
And the
Matter of
key
fact,
to this though is charging the criminals who do criminal acts with guns. That's it. That's it. Stop right there. There's no need. You and me going around, even the people who are idiots that shoot each other by accident, have accidental discharges. That's a low number compared to these guys out here in the street ripping and running and robbing people and using guns in a criminal manner. Those people need to be stopped and charged. Not that all of us wind up being censored because somebody else has an issue.
mhm.
I've never robbed nobody.
No. Yeah. Um what's the LA riots was going on during that bill, and
Mm-mm.
the Rodney King riots.
Yeah, and all the Koreans
Yeah,
on top of their roof with
yeah,
rifles.
with AKs and
Hmm.
yeah.
Yep.
So that bill did a lot, didn't it? I mean, it didn't, bro.
Bro.
It didn't stop anything. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Everybody
Exactly.
already had these weapons and firearms, and nobody was giving them up. Nobody let them confiscate them, and it was like, okay, cool.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
they were still selling. It was
Hmm.
it was actually funny,
Hmm.
that bill
But
came out.
that's the key that we have to pay attention to and try to educate people. I don't want to change their mind. I just want to educate them because I think once you're educated and you understand it and you really
And
become a proponent of the Second Amendment, your mind will change.
these people are educated. Most of them have more degrees than you and I,
Hmm.
but they're the most dumbest folks you ever want to talk to, man. I mean,
Well, because it's do you remember the video that was out a few weeks ago where there's a lady comes in and she has an axe and she walks into like a 7-Eleven or some type of
was
convenience
that a
store?
woman?
Yeah, it was a lady.
I thought it
And,
was a man.
there you go
Uh,
making judgments again.
No, I don't know what it was. I'm just telling
Yeah,
you, man.
okay, let's say that. So
Yeah,
anyway, this person comes in and there's a guy that watches the person go by.
right.
That person then the person with the axe. This sounds so crazy. The person with the axe slams the axe head into a person in
His
front of this guy.
forehead.
He just
No,
watches.
it
The
didn't
the
move.
one guy that the first one, she comes back and gets him before she leaves. Like he really thought that she would not do it to him
Right,
until it
it did,
happened.
and it did
and
it to him.
she bust him up with that axe.
Was
And
it
it's
the
like,
back? I can't remember. Was it the back end or the sharp end? I think it was the
you know,
sharp end.
she hit him with the head of the axe.
Yeah, the
She
back end.
just right in, I think either in his chest or in his head.
Still enough to,
But
yeah,
yeah, it was.
yeah.
But he watched her. I mean, he watched her walk by with an axe in
I
her
know.
hand.
I remember that.
And I mean,
I remember that.
I'm not
It was.
advocating for everybody to be a
It
tough
was
guy
like
and get involved,
It was
but
like a Saw
get
movie.
away. Don't be another
Protect,
victim.
protect yourself if you can't
Yes.
protect others. And he was in enough reach where he just needed to drop his soda can. He could have
Yes,
wrestled
that's the one.
that
Yep.
axe out of
Yep.
out of her hand, and
Kick
he
her,
was
do
yeah.
something,
Oh, he only thing he had to do
run.
was just grab the axe and hit a couple of death blows in that face, and she would have dropped
Bro,
that axe.
he looked her right in the eye, and it was a pause where she looked at him and was like, "Oh, you don't think I'm gonna do it to you?" And it was like, "Are you kidding me?" That's what I'm talking about. So
Right.
even if that dude was armed, with his mentality, he still would have got the same thing that happened to him. He
Right.
got both hands full with a snack and a drink in his hand, and he just
That
wants
was
to go
more
pay for this and
important.
get out.
That was
Right.
more important than
Mhm.
preserving his life or that person's life in front of him.
Yep.
That
I would
snack.
have hit her in the head with that one of them. He should have
No,
got
he
a
had it.
face full of Twinkie or that
He had
can
this right
upset.
here. He had
That
this
too.
right here. That all would have done. Because the person,
Psychologically, when you have something in your hand and something happens, they stay in your hand. They stay
No,
in your hand.
no,
You don't.
no,
You
no.
if you have no training, I will send you 100 videos all night. I'll send you videos at 3 o'clock in the morning. You know I will.
Yeah, you will.
People who have you have something in your hand right now, and a critical incident goes on, you'll have the same object in your hand while that incident's going on. Your
Because your
mind
mind
goes to
didn't
that.
tell you to release it.
That's why I always carry my flashlight in my right hand. And people go, "Why do you carry a flashlight?" So that way I'll drop that fucker and get my gun out. Because if I hold it on this one and I'm now trying to hold a gun with a no, I'm not gonna have that happen. Yep. And I learned that from an old practitioner, an old school dude showed me that. And we did a few drills, and sure enough, at the end he said, "Now look at your hand." And I looked over, and this wasn't even under high stress. This was just trying to be competitive. And he got me good.
Interesting.
And after that, flashlight went in the right hand.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And that's a no-no. Any police officers out there listening, they'll tell you that's a no-no. You always want the flashlight in your left hand. He taught me
Right.
better. Same thing. Another one, a little caveat. He used to tell me don't have bad guys take their pockets out their take their hands out of their pocket until you walk up on them and you are ready for them to move those hands out. Because if it does have a gun in it and you tell him to take it out, are you ready? Take your hands out of your pocket. Guy takes it out. If he's got a gun in his hand, you just told him to do that. See? Yeah.
Yeah, you just messed up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or a knife, or a hypodermic needle, anything
Right.
like that. You know, you just told him to take it out. So do you tell him to take it out when you want to?
When you're ready.
After working
When
with
you're
him,
ready.
used to walk up and say, "Keep your hands in your pocket," and it really flips them off because then they're like, because they're so used to being told to take the hands out of the pocket. You see that? Oh, he said, "Keep them in there." Then you walk up, grab one hand at a time, remove it, check it, make sure, pat the pocket down, go to the next one.
So let's go back to what we was talking about. Like we have concealed carry here in the state of Georgia.
Yep.
Now we have it's been several black ministers here in the state of Georgia
Oh my God.
totally against the concealed
They ran
carry.
up on the Golden Dome.
Yeah, they've been protesting. They've been doing all types of stuff and trying to push the governor to change this law back and trying to come up with false statistics saying the law is causing more harm than it is good, and it's not true. What's happening is people are allowed to defend themselves, but however, these are the same ministers that have black churches all over the state of Georgia and sitting here preaching this crap into their flock. So now their flock and some of their flock are these single females, these females with these firearms. And they sitting there praising this dude the whole time. They got a gun in their bag. You know what I'm saying? So it's very hypocritical of what a lot of people are doing. And because they're sitting up here supporting, I mean, you got to take a stand. I mean, you really got to take a stand. What's more important, listening to this clown talk to take away your freedom and your rights, and talk not only for the state, but they want to push it for the national level. And for you to sit there and agree with this guy and saying, okay, I can't defend myself when I call 911, or when I call 911, the police is not here to help protect me in time. So now I'm going to take my defense in my own hands.
Right.
So, but you're still advocating against it. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? It doesn't make any logical sense at all. You know?
Right. But one of the things that I'm looking at right now is that in Congress, there are numerous women are stalwarts when it comes to standing up for the Second Amendment. And I found this unique because they got all the senators, and there's senators from Tennessee, West Virginia, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Florida, and New York. And that made me, and a Republican out of New York. They list here. Of course, there's every name up here. I want to make sure I do it to double check. Has an R in front of it. That's
Mm-hmm.
what people have to pay attention to. If
Right.
you're a new gun owner and you want to continue to be a gun owner, got to pay attention to your politics. And you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to, you don't have to call them every week or even once a month, but you do have to let your voice be known soon enough.
Mm-hmm.
They even go on to talk about Alabama Republican governor and who signed a constitutional law in her state. South Dakota governor, female. Iowa governor, also a lady, have unquestionable Second Amendment credentials and the political track record to prove it. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking
Mm-hmm.
for. Regardless of what you feel, you may have to do what's right.
Mm-hmm. You may have to do what's right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Gotta let your feelings go.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that a lot of people can't do is they keep hold of their feelings. And this is not about
They
feelings.
lead with their feelings. And
Yeah.
that's what a lot of these politicians know, that on both sides. They play that. They
Mm-hmm.
play it up
Oh,
big
they
time. They
play
they
it.
want to get that emotions involved. And when people get emotional, they don't think logical. And if
Mm-hmm.
you don't think logical, how can you become and maintain ownership of firearms if somebody's out there legally changing the law so that now it's illegal for you to own it? And we're seeing it with that silly ass brace thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that brace, and that's another show. We've probably beat that to
Yeah.
death,
We beat it to
but
death.
there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with it. And the ATF, the federal government said it's okay. Then they realized the money that they were losing, and then they flipped it back. Because I think that's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest thing is the money. I think that anything that I look at, I always say, "What's the end goal? What's the end goal? What's the end goal?" What's
Money.
up, CJ? What's the end goal? And then
Money.
when you look at this, the only thing is the end is money. Other than the fact
Right.
that they don't want somebody to have firearms. If there's
Visible
another
hands.
nefarious reason in the future, maybe they want to,
Mm-hmm.
change the way democracy and tear it down and start something new. I don't know.
So right now we're on. I want to tell everybody thank you real quick,
Yeah, yeah.
and then we're gonna go back to WK. Thanks for supporting the show. CJ, Invisible Hands. Anybody else is watching, please thank you for supporting the show.
There's a couple
Um,
more. I'm looking at the YouTube feed, and there's more people that just
oh yeah,
obviously
there's
didn't
quite a
say.
few.
Yep.
That's why I want to address it. I need you guys who are watching the show, please like the show and subscribe, especially on YouTube because we're trying to get our numbers up. On Rumble, subscribe to. We have over 527 people on Rumble. What's up, Omar? And so we got over 6,000 likes on Rumble. Help push us to Rumble so we can get it up and maybe try to get it up to 1,000. And so please like and subscribe. And also, state of Georgia, we was gonna give us. Was it Warner Robins who said we was gonna? Did we give
Yeah.
that shout out?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Not
Warner
yet.
Robins area in Georgia. We know we got a lot of people in that area watching the show. Thank you for watching the show. Subscribe, like the show. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us out in the long run. So if you want to have more content like this and want to have us doing more stuff like this, just like the show, and it helps us. I read the numbers, and Al reads the numbers, and we try to figure out what we can do to make the show even better for you guys. You
Hmm.
know, yeah.
Because we get a lot of people watch during the week. I don't know, maybe they're when they're cooking or folding clothes around the house or whatever it is. But we
Right.
get people to watch during the middle of the week
Hmm.
and off the live time, and that's cool. So we're trying to gauge whether we continue doing it live. Is it worth it? Because we want interaction. We throw out these numbers and we throw out opinions. We base them on facts, as we always say. We base our opinions on facts, and we try to give you the facts, even if we don't agree with it. But we want to hear from you guys. We want to hear, we want to get back and forth, and whether you agree or you disagree. We're not disrespectful.
Right.
We the same way we are on the range. If
Right.
you're doing something that's unsafe, you're going to get yelled at. But if you are moving along and you're following the rules like we do, you'll be fine.
Hmm. Yeah. Don't worry about me grabbing you. I won't.
Hey, bro, and I'm gonna write that in the rules for the rest of the year. If
Safety
you,
brief.
yeah, the safety brief. Well, we say it, but I'm gonna write it
Yeah.
so people can read it too.
Oh, so they can read it.
Yep. So that way, if you feel the hand on your back, do not resist.
You called it the hand of God.
Yes, I did, because I saw it in action.
Uh,
And the dude was taller than you, and you still had him on his tippy toes.
Hey, man, when it comes to my life, bro, I'm gonna fight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and
Yeah.
especially when you're the gatekeeper for everybody else too.
Oh, hey, check this out, man. He just brought up something. Did y'all see that Amazon was selling AR-15 pistol braces as handlebars for bikes?
Wow.
There's nothing illegal for owning a brace. You can buy a brace by itself. You can walk into any local gun store and go buy a brace. You can go out into any local gun shop and
You
buy.
still can put it on there too.
Hmm?
You still can put it
You
on.
can still put it on, but the 120 days doesn't happen until the end of April. So that's when the ruling goes into effect. In at the beginning of April, was it May
Mhm.
1st. So that's when you're looking at. And yeah, we checked it out. And but it's not illegal to buy a brace. So now if the ruling goes through and they can't get a stay, if they can't get a temporary stay order on before May, then everybody knows, take the braces off. Don't be running around showing all the good stuff. I don't want to beat a dead horse again tonight, but you know, tell everybody, educate your people, educate your kids, educate your family members and everybody else around you what the ruling is and what do it mean, because you're gonna still have people out there that's not going to understand what happened. And if the ruling goes through, and now technically they're going to be riding dirty and they get pulled over and they got the AR in there with a brace, and you got that one cop, this super cop, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And he gonna arrest you. You're gonna lose all your rights and all the other good stuff. And if you're a white guy, they're gonna probably make an example out of you. Black guy, they'll make an example out of you too, but it just won't hit the news. So,
Oh shit.
you know. Yeah, I know you're following this closely. Yeah, let's keep following it, but we're still waiting on the what the courts are going to do. Well, mostly we was talking about is the demographics that buying firearms at an alarming rate, and that's what pushed the numbers up over the last 3 years to 8 million.
Mhm.
And we thought it was desperate people. Now we have been seeing a lot of young males buying
Mhm.
long guns and stuff,
Yep.
and so because they know their rights are about to get trampled, and because you're
Mhm.
looking at um
18
Georgia
to 21.
they raised the age limit to
Mhm.
18 to 21, and so they can't even own firearms, but I mean handguns, but they can't even own rifle shotguns until they're 21, right?
No, they can.
Yeah,
18 to 21 is a long gun.
it's a long gun.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. So, but they can go in the military and carry a pistol
Right.
at the age of 18. So it doesn't really
Become an MP.
MP,
And,
right?
and it'd be amazing to me, especially with this type of government, if they decide that if you're 18 years old, you can't hold that job title in the military.
Yeah, yeah. So the funny part about it, when they came out with the law on Class B felonies, domestic violence,
Mhm.
and when they changed domestic violence into a felony, I was in Korea when that happened, and they came out and said anybody who has any suspicional pass, anything like that going on, you need to let us know now, and because if we find out, you're gonna be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And I thought
Wow.
to myself, I'm in an infantry battalion. Everybody in here has weapons.
Hmm.
So if you're in an infantry battalion and that came up, what's going to happen? You can't qualify anymore. You can't shoot.
Right.
You can't even be in the army anymore.
Hmm.
So you're going regardless. So you can either self snitch and be gone, or let them find out and be
Right.
gone. You know,
Because
hopefully.
sometimes in the government you may be able to slide by for a while.
Yeah, they'll try to hide it for a little
Hmm.
bit. Yeah, get you lost in the shuffle of the paperwork. If you're a good soldier,
Right.
or if you had a ETS of 6 months, they'll probably just said, we just wait out your ETS for 6 months and we'll keep you off the rifle range and all this other good stuff until your ETS and you're gone. And we'll still give you an honorable discharge. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Hmm.
So that's the way that can go. Um, but one of the things I want to say to everybody watching this show is support the Second Amendment. I mean, support. Support it to the fullest. I mean, you don't have to get out there and go protest. You don't have to get out there and be waving flags. You don't have to be walking around with your AR in the supermarket and stuff like that. That's unnecessary. I'm not talking about that type of support. I'm talking about look at your local politicians and vote for your local politicians. Don't worry about the national level. The national level is there. Remember, you have a state senator, you have a which is a senator, and you also have a congress member, a state's congress member. Those two locally can make your local laws hell if you don't pay attention to
Hmm.
what's going on. And then you also have a national senator and a house congressperson. Those two also can make the nation laws hell. But usually, if you tackle your local politicians and let them know you mean business, your national level, if they're not opposite of what if let's say if your state senator is a Democrat and um, the national senator is a Republican, yeah, one is not going to listen to the other when it comes down to gun control. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one
Or
shouldn't listen to the other.
one shouldn't listen to the other
Right. In
because
certain
yeah,
situation.
in certain situations. But what we're finding out in our state, we have a Democratic congressman who's totally supports going against any anti-gun control measures that we have, and that's very surprising. You know what I'm saying? It
Hmm.
caught everybody off guard, and so gun owners have to be politically actively. Gun owners have to be politically active, unfortunately. Yes, they do. And they have to know what they're voting for. And you just can't go to the polls and vote Democrat ticket down the line, Republican ticket down the line. You got to read and research these guys. And it's all on the internet. Just type their name in, boom, on Google. It comes up and tells who they are.
Hmm.
You can also go to the NRA and find out if their NRA, if the NRA said they are for guns or not.
Approved.
Approved.
Hmm.
And the NSSF also does the
Yeah.
same thing. And
They give a rating, so the way that politician has voted in the last during their time in politics.
mhm.
Yep.
Now, also in 2023, you guys know there's what is it? 26 states have concealed constitutional carry.
Hmm.
Now, Florida is having problems signing and getting that concealed carry law to the floor. A lot of people are saying it doesn't go far enough. You know what I'm saying? So you got some rhinos down there that's holding up the bill. The governor said if you get it to his desk, he'll sign it, but he's not pushing for it to get to his desk.
Right.
I really don't think they want it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because Florida's already have you can carry concealed carry, but you can't print. You got to tell the police if they pulling you over. You got to immediately tell them you got a firearm on you, where it's at, and all kinds of other stuff. And I do think that the police are pushing back on that one and
Okay.
trying. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I think the pushback is coming from. I think it's coming from the local police departments
But in
because
that
now,
case, that's no different than a politician pushing back on it.
Yeah, it's no difference.
Right.
Yeah, somebody's pushing against it, and that's the only place I can see that's pushing against it. They don't want everybody running around with firearms, and unless they have a license, and if they have a license, then because I think the license in Florida is tied to your driver's license, so when they pull you over, they automatically know you have a firearm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And but see, in the state of Georgia, it's not tied to your firearm to your driver's license, so they don't know if you have a firearm. So it's totally cool. You know what I'm saying? But now they're going to be just like us if they pull somebody over and it comes back they have no firearm and the person has a firearm. Now they're going to get all freaked out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, but it's also in 2023. There's three more states that's planning on coming online with constitutional carry. If that goes through, we have 29 states and that have constitutional carry. I don't have the names of the states at this time, but that's what they.
It's easy to Google.
Yeah, it's easy to Google. They're still working on it. I know one of the biggest ones were, I think it was North Carolina, is the ones that's going through right now. It's already passed the Senate, and I mean, already passed the House, and now it's heading toward the Senate. So that one looks like it's going to go through before even Florida's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And so it's very interesting things are happening. Very interesting times as stuff is going through right now, and kind of like it. To tell you the truth,
Right.
kind of like people fighting back. You know what I'm saying? But one of the things we want to press the most, if you guys are watching this show and your family members and all this stuff, tell them about firearm safety and tell them about guns. It's not a danger. I can set my gun on the table right now, and it's not going to get up and go drink a beer or anything like that.
Right.
It's an inanimate object.
Smoke
It
some
doesn't
crack.
it doesn't have a soul, so there's nothing it can do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if it did have a soul, like a small dog or a cat, it can't pick up a gun. You know what I'm saying? Now the rats in New York, they do carry knives though, so I do know that
Yeah.
for a fact.
And they smoke crack. I seen it.
Yeah.
Big ass crack rats.
There we go. Do you guys hear about the Ohio ban in third round? Yeah, or more. Yes, and the Supreme Court has already ruled against California on that ban. That is unconstitutional. So what they're doing is unconstitutional, and a lot of people in Ohio is already saying they are not going to support it. Even the police department is saying they're not going to support it. So
That's a good thing.
yeah. So basically the whole state is like rebelling against them. So, which is funny. You know what I'm
And
saying?
one of the things, because we talk about ladies and shooting a lot, and I'm going to close on this. Have you heard of femicide?
That is a new word for me.
Bro, you know your man over here, wordsmith, but I had to look it up. That's the killing of a woman or girl, in particular, by a man and on account of her gender. So that's some new stuff you got to pay attention to. So this femicide, based in this article, and it says that the 2016 study co-authored by Michael Siegel, a public health researcher for Tufts University, found that a state's rate of gun ownership accounts for 40% of its femicide rate, and that each 10% state level increase in gun ownership, the femicide rate by firearms increased by 10.2%. So that meant, when you read this, those people weren't training. That's what I take from it. Because I'm not looking at it as, that was bad. Not only do you don't know how to shoot, but you don't know when to shoot, is what that sounds to me.
So they're saying women are being overwhelmingly shot.
Yes,
by
because it says
men
to some extent
with
whether or
firearms.
not the partner
This is United
has
States,
access
or
to this right here in this country. It
Right.
says to some extent whether or not the partner has access to a gun is single,
But that's
or a most important factor is whether the woman is able to live or die.
that's the old argument that
Yeah.
if you have a firearm in the home, the firearm is most likely to be used in a domestic violent incident than it will to be save your life from the criminal incident. That is the old
When you
logic.
say old, when
Yeah.
when men were men before they stopped the draft because we ran out of men.
Right.
When men were men,
When the internet came along.
we didn't see that a lot.
Right.
You didn't see a man. If a lady has a baseball bat or she's got a machete in her hand, you need a gun. Well, most men, you don't need a gun to defeat a lady. And I'm not being sexist. I'm being honest. I'm being factual. And I'm talking about most ladies never been in a fight, and that's good. Most of them, unless you get the
I
California
understand what
ladies,
you're saying, but
California, Los
I can,
Angeles. Where you from?
I'm
The ones
from
from your neighbor.
California.
Yeah,
I'm from
the
California.
ladies from your neighborhood are tough.
Yeah. No,
They,
New York. New York women are.
I
Have
had
you
to beat you
heard?
to the gun, fucker.
Have you heard? New York women. New York women. They sound. Well, every New York woman, just about not every. Most New York women all sound like DMX.
Oh,
Walking around with their Timberlands on.
I tell you,
DMX.
they are a little rough around the edges, man.
Yeah. I mean, come on, man. I mean, come on. He said the Bronx women.
That them too,
Yeah.
definitely,
But yeah, I guess you got some. Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But the thing is, when you talk about it, it's like a man who needs to use a firearm against a woman who's just with her hands is emotionally disturbed man. Any weapon.
I'm emotionally disturbed. So I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna put you down.
Okay, what we're talking about, like a basic argument, a basic argument, a
No.
basic
Okay. Okay.
this. I'm talking about.
Okay.
You see this stuff. This is what this thing is talking
Okay.
about. We're talking about where the anger has gotten to the point where it's
Are you
to the
talking
point
about the
where
domestic violence? Yeah, I don't do that.
yes,
I don't do that.
that's me neither. That's my
I
point.
leave
Is what
the.
I'm getting at. It's like,
Yeah.
but that is because I
Right.
think at a certain time period. And it doesn't matter what age you are, because I've seen a whole lot of BIs that are
No.
60 years old.
I don't. Yeah. I
I'm
understand
talking
what you're
about that. I'm
domestic
talking about
violence.
why would what because
No,
it's
I
saying that
won't do that. I just
this report is saying that women are being killed by firearms that are in
right.
the house. Because of
Right.
course it's a left leaning article. I mean,
Yes,
and
of
the
course.
thing is, but
They,
I don't
they
say I'm not
pushing
going to
the
read stuff
female.
like that.
They pushing the female
Yes, there you go, there you go.
victim narrative.
Right,
That's exactly what it
right.
is. And
And
if
they're
you
saying
guys,
that
and it's saying if you don't want to get rid of guns to protect females at home, you're not a man.
I know individuals on here, at least two more other than myself, that know about firearm sales. And they see it all the time where the joker can't buy one for himself, so he gets the lady to
It's his
buy it
old
for him.
lady to do it. Yeah,
Right.
that's
And that's what they're talking about. People like
straw
that.
purchase, straw
People, a
purchase.
straw
Yeah,
purchase, a gun that's in the house. And while that gun is in the house, they decide, they get in an argument of whatever,
I'm stuck. I think I was stuck.
something goes on. And
Yeah,
yeah, I kept it rolling. And
yeah.
then, but that's the type, what I'm talking about. Somebody who's in a situation like that, and there's a gun in the house, and a man uses it on a woman. He has already lost his living mind.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I know
I
what you're
mean,
saying. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
there's no excuse.
Right.
So around 96, 96, 95, and while working, the first time I ever heard a call go out for an armed robbery of a female at a in DC, it's not called Martyr, it's called Metro.
Female was
Same
doing a
type.
robbing. She was robbing.
No, well, there was plenty of that, but no, there was a man did a robbery of a woman with a pistol in her face. And I
Oh
was
wow.
like, "You've got to be kidding
Wow.
me!" We found that
Oh,
sucker. We found him.
right.
That was somebody
Now,
that had to be found
now,
immediately.
now we had. It doesn't matter what you have in a home. And when I was in the army at Fort Benning down here, we had a guy who beat his wife with a baseball bat,
Damn.
and he lived on post. And he beat her in ICU. She was and they placed him in protective custody because you had a battalion of 1,500
Hmm.
men wanted to get to this guy and
Right.
work him over. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying?
Right.
So
Rightfully so too.
yeah,
Rightfully so. And that leads right into what we're saying right now.
yeah, men are already physically stronger. Why use a weapon at all?
Right.
Which is true, but a lot
If
of
it
women
comes
are
down to that, I mean, if
yeah,
somebody jumps on you and you're like, yeah, okay, you move them on and they continue, you may have to get a little
yeah,
stop.
because
But
most
other
women
than
are
that,
into that equality stuff
well,
nowadays. So
that's one of the
yeah,
bigger problems when
yeah.
we teach the kids everybody's the same, and they're not. Well, chivalry goes out the window.
And chivalry.
So now
from
somebody
Bronze
touches
and
you mollywop them back. That's not cool.
But it's not cool. But you got to defend yourself. I say defend yourself and how you feel fit to defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if according to the situation, defend yourself accordingly to what level of threat. If it's a level 1 threat, you may have to DD mile out of the area. If it's a level 2 threat, that's extreme aggression. Level 1 is just words. Level 2, that's an aggression. You know, when they're starting to put hands on you. A level 3 threat, that's when weapons are involved. So you need to figure out accordingly from level 2 to level 3. Usually, if it goes from level 1 to level 2, it's time to leave the area anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or especially if it's a level 1, automatically, I'm just leaving the area. You know what I'm saying?
But you
if
know it's not going to get any better.
Right. But you also have to respect and understand if you have your family with you. Because if it goes to a level 2, your family's with you, and you got to protect not only yourself and them, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? To de-escalate that situation. You
Right,
know
but that's at that point, that's not a domestic situation. That's
no, it's
some,
not domestic.
we got female gang members out here.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, and they
the
just as
Timberlands.
wild
We're
as
Timberlands.
the males.
Right. Yeah. So we got some hood chicks out here.
And they identify as he and him, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah, we ain't even going down that road.
oh, so you stop me. All right.
I don't want to talk about no rainbows. You know what I'm saying? Nope.
We already had unicorns, man.
We're good on Rumble, but I will have to shut down YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
And
you
Twitch.
kidding me? You saw that video?
What video?
The one with the guys measuring the lady?
Oh yes, I sent it to you.
Right.
Yeah, and the
they're
guy had over
gonna sanction a few words.
7,000 views on some BS.
And that was the same day. 7,000 in
Yes.
one day.
Right.
And he was showing the female anatomy in its all of its glory.
Right. And I spent a week watching that YouTube. It was amazing. I learned so much stuff. Oh my! To my army buddy, he was watching it too.
That was, you probably bumped the views up a twofold.
Yeah, we were liking and sharing, even subscribe to him. I couldn't believe that was on YouTube.
Yeah,
man.
I couldn't believe
I
it
wish
either.
I could share it to you guys, but I can't.
Right.
You know
as soon as we do it, it'll be a strike.
Oh yeah, we'll get a strike as soon as I share it. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to see it privately, just email me. Right, and I'll send it to you. But
it's crazy.
But some of you guys just came in. I know some of you guys seeing some stuff that I want to show you guys the patch again. If I can find it.
We got a giveaway coming up.
Yeah. We're working on the logistics of a giveaway and how we're gonna do it and what we're gonna do it. But I came out with a patch design of the 2 Alphas Talk. Let's see. Let me pull this tab away, and there you go. Boom. Now you can see it full. So we got the 2 Alphas Talk leather patch with Velcro backing. It's in the house. Just came off straight off the press, and I make these in house. So we're gonna do some giveaways with these, and we're gonna probably make enough of them to where we can probably even sell them and help support the show. And so if you guys like the design, give us a thumbs up. Let us know you like it. And if you don't like it, give me a thumbs down and I'll change it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it came out pretty good myself. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys for the support and all this other good stuff. And we got somebody was chatting something. Oh, yeah, he said it's nice. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
The next show, we're gonna have a guest. Give us a thumbs up. Yep. Next show next week on
12th.
Yeah, the 12th. Yeah, the 12th. Yeah, in 2 weeks, we're going to have a special guest on the show. Um, it's going to be, should I go ahead and announce it or should I
Yeah,
wait?
announce it. Let them know.
Okay. Uh, the owner from WeBuyGuns.com is going to be on the show, and Chris. And we're going to talk about any and everything, probably the industry and the Second Amendment. That's going to probably be the main topic.
Right.
And we'll probably get in some demographic stuff on there too.
Yep. And if
And
you guys have any questions or anything like that, shoot them out to us. Email. You can reach out to us on saberteamtactical.com
mhm.
or Instagram. Some of you guys, we recognize you and you know who we are. And just reach out there, and that way or call in.
Yeah, we'll open the phone lines 30 minutes after the show opens, and so you guys want to call in, talk to Chris, and ask him a question
Be
online.
prepared to call in.
Yes. And you never know, we might have the patches ready by then. The first caller that calls in, we end up getting a free patch. You know what I'm saying? So that could be happening. You know, so let's just think about that. And let's see. Uh-oh. I was trying to reach. I was trying to reach for him. Let's see how many I got. I got a few of them made. Look at that. Boom. See, I've been working. And you guys are sleeping. I'm always working.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So yeah, I got a few more to actually do tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna crank out a couple more next week. And so I have a stock of them, and go from there. But like I said, they got a Velcro back, and they're going your hats, they're going your clothes, they're going your bag, anything, and they're also going to be water treated too, so they can go in the water, and I ain't gotta worry about that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
A nice little distressed look.
Exactly. Yeah, because it is distressing times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's going to be on the 12th. So keep an eye out for that show. Like I said, like and share, and we'll try to see you guys in the range somewhere. If you can't come out to one of these classes and say hello at South River, say it in the chat and under the show. You know, say it was an excellent show, something like that. Even if you chat on the shows after the shows are live, it still creates the numbers that go up. You know what I'm saying? So,
every little bit helps.
yeah, and it doesn't hurt if it's and for all you guys who are watching the show that's not live, if you like the show, give us a thumbs up,
Share it.
share it, and also say you liked it. You know, or if you want us to talk about something else, just say you want us to talk about this, and we'll take your idea and we'll put it on the air and we'll talk about it.
Yep.
You know
We'll give you credit for it because we do the research. We'll do the research.
Right, as long as it's not how to build a rocket ship underwater. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Be sensible. Keep it to the Second Amendment and things of that nature. All right.
Yep.
And with that, we're going to say bid you guys a good night, and we're going to see you guys next time on the range. What you got, Al?
Hey, man, get out there and train, dry fire, do something with a firearm on a regular basis.
Train, even in the rain. I don't go out in the rain no more.
Safely.
Bump that bad weather stuff for me, man.
It was a gorgeous day out there today. I'd like to say shout out to Tom, all the guys out there, Tim, Noah. It was a good day. Good day today.
Okay.
Had about 10 people out there.
Oh, wow. See, look at that. I'm at home sucking up air conditioning. I see you guys.
I think it barely broke 70, man. But
oh, yeah? Yeah, it's too hot for me. No, it was nice. It was nice. I need to get out to the range. It's just, you know, that hour drive is just killing me. You know what I'm saying?
Roll the windows down, man. Sucking some of that pollen.
I need to come out there. I'll talk to you guys later.
Out.